What is going on? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to be doing our Los Angeles Chargers 7-round 2025 NFL mock draft. If you are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Below my face is my board. It is not predictive. It's just the players who I love the most that I back up with all 22 opinions over and clips as well over on X, so feel free to go check it out. Let's get into this. Let's have a great time. Of course, if you want to support the show, use that code HAILMARY when you sign up for UnderDog. They send me $60, and you get up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you do sign up. Let's get into this. It's a live mock draft. We are going to be referencing our lads as well, so keep that in mind. But we're doing this for all 32 teams. And once again, the casual fallers just end up continually slipping. It looks like it's part of the program, but we'll discuss it when time goes on. Of course, we'll evaluate exactly who is available. Let's first check out the roster. And so, offensively, obviously you got the quarterback in place. Maybe you can end up going and getting some depth quarterback as time goes on. Who gives a shit? Running back wise, you've done an excellent job and being able to make the most out of pretty much mediocre talent, right? And not saying that these guys are actually pure mediocre, but when you look at running back rooms comparatively in the NFL, talent-wise, this one is more of a group rather than, necessarily having a true leader. But Dobbins looked healthy. I honestly think he should come back. And you guys shouldn't focus too heavily on running back, even though it's a good class. Kamani Vidal is a stud. I love Kamani Vidal. But regardless, you look at Will Dissly. This tight end room is ass. Let's just get it out. It's ass. It's really, really bad. Offensive line-wise, center is a need. It is. Interior offensive line, in my opinion, is a need. So we'll have to address tight end, interior offensive line, and then a true X, man. Ladd McConkey is such a stud. Such a stud. Was a great dude when I met him as well. I still have a lot of hope for Brendan Rice as well. Feel free to give me some more context as to why he is not necessarily remotely as good as what he should be. He ended up falling in the draft to the 7th round. A lot of us, including myself, had him very, very high. But a lot of love right there for what you guys do have. I still have a lot of faith in Quentin Johnson, not to the point where I think he will not be a bust for what you drafted, but it is what it is. Ladd McConkey's a stud. Love him to death. So really good offensive line. On the tackle side, need to fix up the interior. Defensively, you guys ended up getting rid and cutting Bosa, and he's probably going to go to San Fran. We'll see what happens there. But, I love Tuli Tuipulotu. Khalil Mack's up for a contract. It's not looking pretty at the edge spot. This whole entire team is not looking that great, if I'm just going to be honest, on defense. But I do trust that you guys will end up bouncing back. Defensively, nose tackle is a very underrated need. We might have to address that very early as well. And there is one that is on the board for us. Who the hell is putting these emotion people on here? I don't even remember the name of the movie. But defensive interior are going to absolutely need to be a focus. Justin Voigtby was an absolute whiff, in my opinion. Feel free to call me out on that because I haven't watched him actually purely. He never popped out to me. If he's actually done a pretty good job, please feel free to correct me on that. I'm always willing to be wrong. I'd rather just be wrong once. Linebacker-wise, Henley ended up having a big step up this year. I still have a lot of faith in Colson in his native position. I personally think that you guys are doing pretty fine. You could, of course, go for some depth at linebacker. Boundary corner, you got Asante Samuel Jr., who's on the bye-bye. Apparently, a lot of people are having him linked both to the Steelers as well as to the 49ers. So I do see the boundary corner one position being definitely open. I do think Cam Hart needs to take a larger role. Elijah Molden being brought back was great. Tareeb Steele did way better than I ever expected, so shout out to him. Alohi Gilman, have a lot of love for him. And then, of course, Derwin James is Derwin James. Let's get into this. Let's have a great time, though. Starting out with that number 22 pick. Looking at the players who fell, Luther Burden, I trust him too much as a slot. I'm not going to be doing that. I almost said almost like I said slut. That is not what I meant. Do not misconstrue things. But I do know how this board falls. I like what happens with the tight end value. Luckily, your own in-division rival was the one who I ended up taking Colson 11-2 before, so I'm going to stop myself from doing that. I'm looking right now at Matt Golden, that 4.3 speed, that boundary presence, and honestly, he ended up showing out and being a true number one receiver there for Texas when it mattered most. I'm going to go after Matt Golden to start this out. I do think we needed to consider, of course, it's easy for me to say after I end up clicking the pick right there, but Kenneth Grant, that nose tackle spot, needs some help, but again, there's also a lot of noses that are up for contract. So there's a chance that you guys can just address it rather in free agency rather than having to panic. Here, pick number 54, Jeepers. I do think this is a perfect opportunity to look at that edge room because the edge room is eviscerated. You could go two edges if you wanted to. But Jordan Birch is a stud. I don't think he fits this defense necessarily. I just don't. Like, you want someone who could be very similar to Tuli Tuipulotu, and to be honest, someone who I think that is very similar. I should have probably had this as Braden Swinson's comp. Like, a better version of Tuli Tuipulotu. It's actually a really solid comp, and he's taken some pass rushes from the interior of the defensive line as well, so I can see him kicking in on certain blitz packages. I'm going to go after my favorite player in the class, pound for pound, in Braden Swinson. At number 86, this is why I wait. Mason Taylor falls. Big fan of Mason Taylor, especially for this value. I think it's going to be the pretty obvious pick. Let's look at who else could be here. Is there anybody that we need to? Interior offensive line, I do think should be considered. I mean, Jonas Savania is here. If our next pick's 123, we might actually pass on tight end if we need to. Jared Wilson is here. Let's evaluate it, because I do think it's pretty clear. Fannin or Taylor, you'll be happy. At 123, yeah, it does get thin. I really like Jake Brenningstool, but he kind of rubbed me the wrong way this offseason. Not saying that he did anything. He was actually a pleasure to meet in person. The dude was legit. But like, looking at the interior of the offensive line at 123, I actually like Cornelius potentially there. And then, of course, you could talk about Emory Jones and stuff. I feel very comfortable with that. We're going to go after Mason Taylor here. That tight end room needs something. And Mason Taylor, if I'm not mistaken, might be the nephew of Joy Taylor. So, some fun stuff there. But, I mean, you guys got yourselves some big contributors at key positions of massive, massive need. Jaden Blue would not be a bad running back to have at this point either. A good scat back there. But again, I really think Dobbins should return. There's no reason not to. And out of realism, I'm not going to allow Femi Oladejo to be our pick here. I think that Trev is going to be updating it, and it's just out of date at the moment. So keep that in mind. But a player who I really like is Noel Williams. If you're losing both of your top corners, Noel Williams has very similar strengths and weaknesses to Cam Hart. And I actually really like that. But we do need to focus on the offensive line here. The question is, can we wait till 177? And to be fair, Emory Jones is going to be there, Jack Nelson, Miles Frazier. I know that it's not going to be enjoyable, but I'm going to take a Johnny Cornelius or them. I really think Noel Williams has a very similar build and very similar layout to what you guys drafted last year in Cam Hart. So we're going to go after Noel Williams there at 123 and hope that we get lucky. And I don't think we did. We did not get lucky on the offensive line portion because of Johnny goes at 141. So we got close, 159 here. So looking at what is available, could go Trevor Etienne. It's really good value at this point. Because at 177, I still trust for us to be able to snipe some good value on offensive line with Emory Jones. I might come to eat my words. The last time I got cocky, it ended up not working out well. I'm going to go Emory Jones and put him at guard. I think that's going to be like more valuable, and especially since he could fill in a tackle in case of injury. We're going to do that. Let's not get a little too crazy here and see who slips. At number 177, let's see, did any of the offensive linemen I was worried slip? Jonah Monheim doesn't even have 30-inch, like he has 30-inch arms. It's kind of sad. But, looking at Miles Frazier, you could end up doubling up right now. He ended up even taking some tackle reps at the Senior Bowl. I really like what he can bring, and that physicality is awesome. I would do that at 182 or 199. So here at 177, we could just go Quinn Ewers and then allow him to develop, kind of use him as like some trade bait, so to speak. But I do think we have too many issues to deal with at the moment for me to really feel comfortable doing that. Dante Thornton Jr., I do want to use him for a lot of other teams. Granted, this one might be one of the ones because it's a perfect DJ Chark replacement. That might be the comp. Let's go Dante Thornton here. I really like Dante Thornton. So at number 182, I was talking about this. I was telegraphing it. I do think that, was I telegraphing it? I already forgot what I was telegraphing. Maybe offensive line. Ooh, Holland Pierce is so good. So good. I love Holland Pierce. Oh, I was talking about Miles Frazier. I might roll the dice. We might get a little frisky and see what happens. Let's see who else is available. I do know that we still need a nose tackle. I think that, again, in free agency, there's so many nose tackles that are available. I'm not going to take Zeke Biggers for like the 12th time at this point. Jalen Smith is a stud. Caden Prather's really fun. If I did not end up taking Dante Thornton, I'd probably go after him. At this point, it's starting to look actually pretty clear the route that I should go, and that is not to wait on Miles Frazier. We're going to pair him up and put him at center most likely, or we can end up kicking another one of the guys to center. But Miles Frazier is going to be the selection here. We're going to beef up on the interior of the offensive line. We're actually going to potentially go after another edge rusher here with one of our final 4 picks. Holy Toledo. Zeke Biggers is still here. That's just, it's taunting. I do think running back at this point, we could get one. Like, Ollie Gordon's really fun, but it is right to go at like 253 with Donnie Edwards. Like let's be real. Donovan Edwards is going to be picked 253. Let's look at the edge rushers. Fadil Diggs, absolutely there. Ethan Downs, down. And Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's a very good player. I think he'll be there at 215 or 220. So I'm gonna hold off until 215 at least for him. Like, let's not like go overboard. Looking at the players that we have gotten, like, there's a lot of picks this draft. Holy Toledo. We went full LSU. I didn't even think about that. We went like pure LSU. LaQuint Allen's a very good player. Super young as well. Let's go LaQuint Allen. Yeah, that's a good back. I know that, again, I was talking about getting Donnie Edwards. That's a UDFA. Yeah, LaQuint Allen's such a stud. He's a studded back, man. Very, very good player. Super young as well. Good. He's worth developing, right? Am I tripping? How many linebackers you guys losing? You need some linebacker depth. All right. We'll go after someone who's a little bit on the lighter side, but a very high IQ player in Jay Higgins. We'll do that. I think that's fair. At number 215, Jim DK actually might be worth it at this point. We've gone after 2 wide receivers in Thornton as well as Golden, but this team definitely needs it. We're going to go after Jim DK at this point and get a 3rd wide receiver. Here at number 220, we're going to execute Order 66. Shout out to my Star Wars fans out there. I'm a big Star Wars dude. We're going to go after Johnny Walker. I just took Fadil Diggs in a very recent mock draft. Ethan Downs is another good one, but Johnny Walker, the selection shall be. Number 253, we also telegraphed this. This is going to be Donnie Edwards. Donovan's such a good guy as well. Worth the locker room presence right there. And so, recap of what happened. We got 2 interior, let's go offense first. Weaponry, Golden, Taylor, Thornton, DK. Savage group of dudes. On the offensive line, we got center/guard and Miles Frazier, technically, and tackle. And then we also got guard and Emory Jones, who could also fill in at tackle if need be. I like being able to get that value right there. On the defensive side, we got edge rusher Braden Swinton to start out the gate, and Johnny Walker, who I think is excellent value. You look at the defensive interior, we missed out on it, but this is actually a pretty studded defensive interior class in free agency, in my opinion, for the nose tackle position to have kind of guys to plug and play. I did not see this class have many defensive interiors that I really liked that degree. We got our true corner 2 here in Noel Williams. Probably would end up being corner 3 for a short period of time. I do see you guys bringing on somebody to plug the hole as Noel Williams develops, but very similar to Cam Hart. Jay Higgins, really good value there as well. So that's going to be the video. A lot of picks. Couldn't even fit it on the whole screen, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. See you on the far side.